Picture this. You're successful. You've raised kids, built a career, managed a household. You spent decades being needed, being responsible, being the person everyone counts on. And now, you're sitting there asking yourself the question that keeps every woman over 50 awake at night. What's next? Not what's wrong, not how do I fix this, but what's next for me? Maybe your kids are grown and established. Maybe you're facing retirement or career changes. Maybe you're looking around at the life you've built and you're wondering, what do you want to build next? If you're in that space, successful but restless, accomplished but asking, what now? This video is for you. Because that question isn't a crisis, it's an invitation to your third act. Here's what I've learned after working with women in this exact transition. The what's next question hits the most successful women the hardest. You're the woman who figured everything out. You navigated raising kids, building careers, managing relationships. You've been the problem solver, the organizer, the person who makes things work. But now you're facing a different kind of challenge. It's not about fixing something that's broken or solving someone else's problem. It's about designing what you want when you finally have the freedom to choose. And that's scarier than any crisis you've managed because you've gotten really good at responding to other people's needs. You haven't had much practice asking, what do I want? The question shows up differently for different women. Are you the woman who asks, my youngest is 25 and thriving. I'm proud of who they've become, but who am I now? Or the one who asks, I've been successful in my career, but is this how I want to spend the next 20 years? Another woman could be asking, I've been married for 30 years. We're good, but what do we want our relationship to look like now? Yet another is asking, I've been taking care of everyone else for decades. What would I do if I put myself first? The details are different, but the question underneath is the same. What's next for me? And there's a reason this question hits in your 50s and beyond. It's not random. It's not midlife crisis. It's the natural result of doing life well. You spend decades in what I call your second act, or the response phase of life. Responding to your children's needs, your career demands, your family obligations, your community responsibilities. You became excellent at reading situations and adapting to what was needed. But successful adaptation has a side effect. You can lose touch with your own authentic preferences. You've been so good at being what others needed that you might not know what you want when no one else needs a driving the decision. Plus, something magical happens around 50. You stop caring as much about other people's opinion. The need to please, to fit in, to do what's expected, it starts loosening its grip, which means the choices you make now can be more authentic than any choices you've made in your first or second act of life. You have wisdom you don't have at 20. You have resources you didn't have at 30. You have clarity about what matters that you didn't have at 40. And if you're ready to start exploring what you actually want in this phase of life, you'll want to download my free guide called 21 Days to Your Next Chapter. Using my Thrive method, it's specifically designed for women who spend decades caring for others and now need practical tools to figure out what's next. The link is below. To be clear, this isn't the beginning of decline. This is the beginning of your third act. And the third act has the potential to be your most powerful, purposeful, authentic phase yet. Think about it. The first act was about learning and exploring. The second act was about building and achieving and caring for others. The third act, that's about integration and intention and choosing what matters most. You're not starting over. You're starting with everything you've learned, every skill you've developed, every piece of wisdom you've gained. You're starting with resources and confidence and clarity that you've never had before. The question, what now or what's next, isn't pointing to emptiness, it's pointing to possibilities. Maybe it's starting that business you've been thinking about for years. Maybe it's going back to school for something you're actually interested in, not just what's practical. Maybe it's traveling to places you've only dreamed about. You should see a list of the places I've been in the last 10 years, and I'm not stopping anytime soon. Most of them were solo travels, others in a group. By the way, if you're interested in tagging along, leave a comment below. South Korea and Vietnam are coming up soon. Maybe it's deepening relationships that got put on the back burner during the busy years. Maybe it's saying no to things you used to say yes to out of obligation. And maybe, just maybe, it's saying yes to things you used to decline out of fear. The women who thrive in their third act and the ones who had perfect second acts. They're the ones who get intentional about designing what comes next instead of just letting it happen to them. And this phase is different from any transition you've navigated before, because this time you get to be selfish in the best possible way. For decades, your decisions were filtered through other people's needs. Can I do this and still be a good mother? Will this work with my husband's schedule? Is this practical for the family budget? Now, you get to ask a different question. Does this interest me? Does this align with who I'm growing into? Does this feel authentic for who I am now? You've earned the right to be the primary consideration in your own life decisions. And here's the beautiful thing. When you start living authentically in your third act, it gives other women permission to do the same. Your courage to ask, what now? What's next? And actually pursue the answer becomes the example for every woman watching your life. This whole journey, from asking what now to what's next to designing your third act, that's exactly what I explore in my upcoming memoir, Slipping Through My Fingers. It comes out October 10th. And if you're ready to see what's possible in this phase of life, you'll find inspiration and practical guidance in every chapter. The pre-order link is below, because the choice in your third act isn't between staying busy and being bored. It's between designing intentionally and drifting accidentally. Drifting looks like filling your time with activities that don't particularly matter to you because you don't know what else to do. It looks like saying yes to things out of habit rather than enthusiasm. It looks like waiting for someone else to need you instead of pursuing what you need. Intentional designing, on the other hand, it looks totally different. It starts with getting honest about what you actually want, not what you think you should want. It involves trying new things, letting go of old things that no longer fit. It means building your days around what energizes you rather than what depletes you. Designing your third act requires the same skills you used to build your second act: vision, planning, persistence, adjustment. But this time, you're building for an audience of one. You're designing a life that fits who you are now, not who we used to be or who others expect you to be. And the result, girl, a sense of purpose and excitement about the future you might not have felt since you were much younger. So, if you're asking, what now or what's next? I want you to know that question is an invitation, not a problem. It's an invitation to get curious about who you're growing into. It's an invitation to design the next chapter instead of just letting it happen. It's an invitation to live with intention rather than reaction. You're not too old to start something new. I'm in my early 60s and I started this channel. Me and old were never used in the same sentence, as in never. You're not too set in your ways to change direction. You're not too late to pursue dreams you deferred. You are at the perfect age to combine wisdom and courage, experience with experimentation, stability with adventure. The question, what's next, isn't scary because there are no good options. It's intimidating because there are so many good options. And for the first time in decades, you get to choose based on what you want rather than what others need. And you don't have to figure it out alone. The question every woman over 50 is secretly asking, what's next, isn't a sign that something is wrong with your life. It's a sign that you're ready for the most authentic, intentional chapter yet. Your third act is waiting. Not the version someone else would design for you, but the one that fits who you actually are and who you're still growing into. If this resonated with you, if you're ready to start designing rather than drifting, please subscribe. I share videos every week about navigating this transition with clarity and confidence. Your third act isn't about settling, it's about soaring. And it starts the moment you decide that question, what now, what's next, deserves a thoughtful, intentional answer.